Alright, hey, what's up everybody? So, got another project. This is just a quickie build. I'm having to do everything on, or this is going to be all done on GoPro, and I got trying to get used to this whole selfie stick bullshit, so to me it's kind of retarded, but it's better than just me holding the camera and looking at my face. So, but yeah, this right here is that T5 copper car that I had showed you earlier. I kind of use my phone so I can actually see what the hell I'm looking at. So, you're looking at me, looking at you, looking at me, kind of thing. But anyways, so this is that T5 copper. Oh, there's my goofy ass cousin.
What's happening, peeps?
He got the shit end of the stick. He's uglier than I am.
Okay.
Alright. So like I said, T5 copper, big block, 2-barrel car. What we are doing to this car is going to be cutting. See, this car doesn't need full quarters. This car just needs quarter skin. So we're just going to cut it off at about this line here, because it's really not that bad from up here. So all this is good, you know, and this is good down here, this is good, and right here all this is good down to about here. About everything below this line here is pretty much junk. But you know, why cut all this out when it's all good? So we're just gonna do the skins, and I think I'm gonna cheat it a little bit. You know, normally you want to just drill all these spot welds out and replace all this, but since really all this is in good shape, you know, I'm actually probably going to cheat it and just do a cut line to about probably 1 inch away from this, and then probably all the way down to about here, and just skin that, because like I was saying, you know, there's nothing wrong with all this right there. So why spend the extra time to fix it and then make the shit fit right when this is all original Chrysler metal and it's going to fit right? So just gonna do quarter skins. Most likely gonna have to do outer wheelhouse, which I'm hoping I don't, but I'm kind of leaning more towards gonna have to. Gonna have to do a little bit of patching to the outer wheelhouse on the bottom. We kind of jumped the gun a little bit on you. We went ahead and took the tail lights and bumper and you know, remove the wiring harness in here, but you know, I'm not going to be doing. We just kind of did all this shit right here. We're going to clean the trunk out and finish tearing apart the car, just because really when you're doing this kind of job, it needs to be on level ground. I mean, I could just go ahead and do this right here, but you know, I'm just going to put it on level ground. So we're going to end up moving the car from there. We're going to put it in the backyard so I can go ahead and get it on level ground on jack stands and make sure it's all square and do the job there. Let's see, am I doing an okay job holding this stupid stick? I guess so. Don't mind the shirt. This is something I had in high school, so I'm using it. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and vacuum this guy out right here. We're gonna finish taking the wheel well trim off. A couple of the other bullshit. So this car is actually not in too bad a shape. I know this looks really bad, but that's actually just the skin. That's not. It didn't actually hurt the rocker. But yeah, it's a pretty good car. Inside, we're gonna go ahead and pull the back seat out. Oh, probably pull the carpet back, or just pull the shit out. And I don't really need to pull the headliner because, well, we're not doing full quarter panels on it. That's a good thing too. Yeah, big project car, but technically this isn't my car anymore. I sold this car, and the guys hired me to do the actually I told him I'm not going to sell the car unless he pays me to do the job. So yep, replacing the metal. And as you can see, so the trunk is actually screwed. The trunk extensions don't look bad from here, but on the bottom side they're junk. Wheelhouses don't look terrible from here anyways, but once you start cutting everything out, it will get bad. So when we're doing the trunk, got to pull these out, got to cut this loose, gonna have to cut that out. See what else we got to do to this thing. Oh, yep, we're gonna have to remove the spare tire mount and the little humps there that actually hold the tire off of the trunk pan. Have to remove those, because we're gonna reuse those on the new trunk pan. We're gonna go ahead and remove the gas tank right now. So So, yep, gas tank, filler tube, side markers, wheel well trim, until Frankie shows up. Frankie is a friend of mine who is going to help me tear this down. I kind of subbed it out to him because I got a lot on my plate right now, so Frankie's the one that's going to tear it down, clean it all up, and get it ready for me to start doing the fabrication and putting the new metal on. So he's getting the shitty part. I get the clean metal part. He has to deal with all the rust and all the dirt and the... So yeah, he got the shit into the stick there, but oh well. But yep, this is kind of the intro to this car. Kind of like a how to do quarter skins, but every car is different. So some cars will have it to where this car is just totally junk back here. We'll have it to where some cars are junk back here and you just want to replace a full quarter. And they'll have it to where cars up here are junk. Like as you can see that back window area, it's really not bad. So there's no need to hack all that out. There's a little bit of holes right there, but I can just spot weld that, or I can just weld that up. So no really need to hack into this thing and replace all that when it's really not bad. So not really like a full quarter panel job like some of you back east guys have to do, but this is kind of a easy quarter panel job because, like I was saying, from here up is bueno. Well, we're gonna start vacuuming this turd. Ready?
See what we can do.
I lied. Frankie doesn't get all the dirty part. He ain't showed up yet, so I gotta do some of the dirty shit. Ugh. You're on my forehead right now. Ooh, we got some old beer cans. Oh, I gotta breathe this nasty. I'm gonna put a freaking mask on. Got engine parts. Shit scattered everywhere. I bet you there's a build sheet under here. Fucking taillight. I'm trying to keep the cussing down. Sometimes it just comes out though. Ooh, that one folds over nice. Oh, there's string one way. Let me get some air in here. Oh man, I just bought one of these. Oh well. Ugh. Ooh, damn, that came out easy. Normally these back seats are a pain in the ass. Guess I got lucky on the first one. Alright, yeah, sometimes these seats, back seats are kind of a pain in the ass, so you gotta push. There's a tab underneath here. There it is. It holds onto the seat. Where is it at? There we go. You sucker. I'm gonna push on this seat. You lift it up. Hold on, hold on. Alright, there it goes. Alright, taking it out. Yeah, but I gotta remove the I gotta remove one of these guys or remove that. So I'll get it. Just hang on a second.
Alright, tell me when you're ready.
Alright. Now I got the seat loose. I'm go ahead and get some of these screws out of here. Is there anything in here? No. At least this car's not full of rat shit. Alright. Let's see what's underneath this seat. Yeah, just lift it up a little bit. I really should remove that buddy seat. Alright. You wanna go out that way?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, at least all the seatbelts are in it. That's good. We got a bullet. What other kind of goodies we got in here? What's this guy? I like going through the cars when you pull the seats out and stuff, because it's always kind of, sometimes there's just neat shit in here. What's this? Money Bank. Henderson West. The guy pulled out $30. What's that?
I don't know yet. Oops.
Instructions?
Pipe welding layout.
No. Well, nothing too special in this car then. There's a
Yep.
bullet. That's about it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Keep that memory.
Yep. We got a bullet. We got a button. That's probably from the seatbelt. Oh, yeah. That's from the strap. Seatbelt strap. Oh, here's Frankie. Alright. I gotta pull that one off too.
You taking these off?
Nah, those can stay.
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Let me stop and get a water.
Ooh, there's a build sheet. Oop. Yeah, it's got that board back there. Oh, now it smells like fucking rat piss. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's all over me.
You gotta take a shower before you take
Alright, well, I got the car in the backyard. All three of us hoofed it back here. Here's Frankie. He's tearing apart the inside. Gotta get the windows out. Taking the, we're not gonna take the regulators out. I don't think we're gonna really need to, but yeah, we'll see what we can do without it. But yeah, got it all vacuumed out. Got the seats out. And then, while he's doing that, I'm gonna try and expose all the spot welds. And sometimes the spot welds are kind of a pain in the ass to see, like you can't really see them that well. So usually, what I'll do is I'll just heat the area up. This softens the paint. It softens the paint enough to where you can just come over here with a wire wheel and you'll start to see all the spot welds. See, that's them all right there. So I'm gonna get them all marked out for Frankie. Well, even though we can see them, that's, yeah, I guess it's kind of stupid to mark them out. But all right, so that's gonna happen all the way down the rear valence. Same thing up here. Like I can usually feel them. Sometimes you can't see them that well, but you know, there's one right there, so I know I can feel that one. I can feel that one, that one. But since we're gonna have to weld to it anyway, there's no way I can clean it up. Ooh, that's still fucking hot. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen on the rear valence. Cut these guys out, and we'll start getting cutting on the car. Here's another problem I always have with these freaking quarter windows. You can see down in there the two bolts. Well, this one's already out. It's probably already broken, which sucks. But there's a bolt down in there that holds the quarter glass. And Frankie's heating it up right now with a torch, or with a little mini torch. We're trying to get the aluminum housing behind the glass hot. And then we're going to spray the bolt with water to try and shrink the bolt as it kind of breaks loose of its housing on the, or breaks loose of the aluminum. So, because if you just snap that bolt, it's a pain in the ass to get the threads out of the aluminum housing. So we're trying to do it without breaking or without snapping the stud. All right, I'm gonna try and spray some water on it. Or you think it's hot enough? Still stiff? Yeah, just don't break it. See, we can't really cut into the quarter panel because it'll fuck up the glass. So we got to pull the glass out. Well, we're not getting any luck getting that bolt out, so we need to attack it from the backside. So we rolled the window all the way up. I'm just gonna cut a little square here so I can go ahead and try and get to that thing. There it is. Let me try and use the big torch. Quick. Yeah, you can roll it down a little bit. Roll it down to where you had it. All right. You see that? Where's that WD-40 at? There it goes. All right, that bit's gonna be hot. Sweet. And then it comes out like so.
Let me see that side.
Huh? You might as well just cut the same hole on the other side.
Oh, okay, that's aluminum.
Yep. Yeah, the housing's aluminum.
Alright, so
Just like I was telling you before, we did the 3/4 inch tape line, cut it all the way down the corners, basically just cut the skins off. So we did 3/4 inch down the sides and then just basically along the bottom, because all this down here is all going to get cut off because we're going to be putting new skin. We're just doing the skin along the body line because there's nothing wrong with the jams. There's nothing wrong with up here. You know, it's all perfectly good. There's nothing wrong within the back. So why replace it if there's nothing wrong with it? And it's a real Chrysler metal, so if the shit fits right. But down here, you know, this is where you get the problems, and back here. So, but the rockers aren't bad. Just like I thought they were. I think it was just, I knew that was just gonna be outer skin that was junk. But the rocker itself isn't bad. That's just scaling. There's actually no rot there. So we're gonna finish cutting the skin down, and we'll drill out all the spot welds. And well, we're gonna have to do some patching here. Well, actually, you know what? No, damn it, we have to replace this guy. It's my first time looking at this one. So this car's been in a wreck before. Hey, lighting, lighting. Go over here. Come on, girls. Did you get him? Huh? Did you get him? All right. So, but yeah, this is going to need an outer wheelhouse for sure. This side here is junk. Sucks. Anyways, so we are gonna have to do an outer wheelhouse on this one now. But now, since we cut the skins off, now we can access the trunk a lot better. Drill all this out. Cut these loose. Need to cut the trunk lock support loose, so that way when we put the trunk pan, that's not going to be in the way. These have to be welded on top of the trunk pan. And then we got the rear valence all drilled out, so now we can remove that. And then let's just start chopping and cutting this thing apart. But yeah, from this point on, it's just a lot of butchery. Well, same thing on the other side. Same thing, it's already been all cut out too. Alright, well. Yeah, they just barely even caught the little edge of that one. Clean this thing up later. Here. Where does it need to go?
Just that one right here.
This one here needs to go this way.
Ow! Ow! Yeah, there you go. God damn, man. That was worse than a fucking gas tank.
No, they're not too bad.
You wouldn't, or you would?
I wouldn't. Piece of shit. Well, this drill bit is
Aren't
non-functional.
Ferraris supposed to be pretty badass?
Huh?
Aren't Ferraris supposed to be pretty badass?
Yeah, but they're still pretty lame.
Like, didn't you tell me you were like, man, these cars are like sorry when you were working on them?
Oh yeah, when I was working at that Ferrari thing,
And then
cars
that
are a
guy
piece of shit.
Then the guy took you out and he was,
Yeah. Well, that was a race car, but the Ferrari itself was a piece of shit. It looked like it was built with Home Depot materials on the inside.
are you on?
I think so. Is it blinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just drilling pilots right now. What time is it? I gotta go to the racetrack.
12.
Fuck.
You leaving?
Yeah.
I to go.
No, I gotta be there at 12:30. Play the race car game.
How does it feel?
Oh, to be you? Like 10 years ago? Ow, fucker. Sucks.
I didn't really mind.
Well, I'd rather do other shit though. That was when you were all fat.
What are you talking about? I was never fat.
Okay, you weren't fat, you were just fluffy.
Oh yeah, I was fluffy. He's trying to do a Shopify store. So he's all into the advertisement.
Oh, really?
You can buy followers.
Buy followers? Huh. See what I'm trying to do right here? There's spot welds right here. I'm just gonna drill through. What?
You go right past this round thing, right? And then you cut along this edge right here.
I just cut.
Right here.
If you look on top, you'll see where the spot welds are. Right there's a little bead roll. I cut right on that bead roll.
That's the bead roll right here. Then.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you have to replace it all anyway. Alright, yeah, so yesterday Frankie got the rear valence cut out. Basically just drilled the spot welds out, drilled them out here, and then, well, obviously you didn't need to do a whole lot of drilling here because they're pretty much junk. And then there's just two little tabs right here that actually hold the rear valence to the, this is the frame rail tie connector, which you can see it's junk, so we're going to have to end up having to replace this. So I called the guy, let him know, hey, gonna have to buy more shit because that's junk on both sides. So could patch it, but if you look here how scaly it is, and just might as well just cut the damn thing off and just replace it. Plus it's all junk up in here. Yes, I could patch this and make it from scratch, but why? So just replace the whole thing, and which is the best thing to do, because by the time I make pieces, by the time I'm done making the patches to fix that, not much more. You can just go ahead and buy a whole new piece. So I'm gonna do that. And obviously this is all junk here, so just cut all that out. The only good thing about this being junk is we don't have to drill out all the spot welds for the trunk pan right there. We can end up just cutting that whole piece out. So that saves a little bit of time, just cutting that out. And then basically on the trunk pan, we just use a cutoff wheel and cut it along the frame rail all the way around. That way it just gives us two big holes we can get in here. We can start chiseling away at the trunk pan on the inside all the way around. And then we'll start chiseling away at the trunk pan on the outside. Same thing, we're going to cut the trunk pan loose here all the way over to the frame rail. Then we're going to box around, go over, just to give us room to chisel. And then right here, you saw me doing this. So I'm going to just drill these out. Don't need to use a spot weld cutter, or yeah, don't need to use a spot weld cutter on these because we're not worried about saving what's underneath it. We're just going to drill straight through. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I got to go to the racetrack, so Frankie's going to hopefully get that trunk pan all cut out, and I'll come back and we'll start hacking more of it to get more of it apart. And we got to get the trunk pan out before I can cut this off, because when you get the trunk pan out, that way I can weld braces that go from here down to the frame rail. Going to exit, so basically we're going to go exit the frame rails, and then we're going to run a tie connector across, so when we cut this piece off, the frame rails aren't going to move around. But yep, that's where I'm at. Alright, another day without me being able to work on it, so Frankie got some more work done for me. He got this all cut out. He got the trunk pan I'd say about halfway out, except to about here. But we're going to end up having to cut all this out anyway, like I said before. today's my final day going to the racetrack. It's a 3-day event, so now that'll be over with. So tomorrow I'll be able to be gung-ho on this thing, get all this cut out, done, prepped, get that wheel well cut off. And then I got to make some braces to support. I got to X the frame rails and then run another brace from here to here so that way the frame rails hold their shape exactly where they're at while I cut this guy off. So that's where we're at right now. So, yep. That's where she be. Another day. Well, this is what we had got done today. I didn't really do anything the last couple days because I've been at the racetrack, but Frankie came over and did a couple things. And today, I did some stuff on the other side, the little things in the back, and then I also removed the little bit of the trunk pan that was still attached to the wheelhouse. And if you notice, the outer wheelhouse is missing. That's because I took it off. There's several different ways to do an outer wheelhouse. I've seen them hacked in there. I've seen them welded. I've seen people butcher a brand new wheelhouse and just weld a piece of it over the rotted one. You know, and I've also seen people, if you look right here, well, I don't, never mind, you can't really look, it's hard to see, but that is some kind of roller with teeth on it that actually spot welds at the same time. And there is a shit ton of spot welds in that thing. A shit ton connecting the two outer wheelhouses, or the two wheelhouses. So if you drilled all those out, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of meat left. Or if you spot weld cut them, I mean, they're like every half inch. You're going to be there all freaking day. So on a scenario like this, where there's really nothing wrong with it, I mean, that's solid rust-free metal right there. What I'll do is I'll actually cut the outer wheelhouse right on the lip. Try to blow all the crap out of the frame rails. Ooh. Okay, well, I have got the rear frame rails. Well, let me stand up so you can see. Rear frame rails, they're all epoxied. And then we've got the weld-through primer done on top of the frame rails. Right now, we just kind of roughed it and threw that cross rail up here. Say hello, Walt.
Hello. What's happening?
So we just kind of roughed it and threw the cross rail up here just to see how well it's going to fit. And just need to do a slight trimming on this side right here. It just needs to go over an 1/8 inch towards Walter. And it only didn't need to go up very much, so that's all we're going to do right there. Alright, try again, Walt. So that's my side, that's your side.
Better.
Alright, that'll work. Huh? So let me just put a clamp on this. There. That's good. I'm gonna check our measurement. Oh, here it is. Alright. So we should want to see 9 3/8. Ooh, 9 3/8 to the edge of the frame rail. We got 9 3/8 to the edge of the frame rail, so we're square. Alright. We just want to get the body hammers and then just tap down all these little tabs. Actually, I'll get it real quick. Then we'll mark out everything so we can clean, and then we'll drill all our holes for this cross rail. Alright, we're just marking all the locations that where we're going to be welding. It's going to be going on right there. And then we've already got the back sides all marked out so that we can pull this thing off. and we're going to be just drilling all our holes. So then I can just go ahead and plug weld where it's at. Alright. Well, here's a kind of a factory screw up walt. They didn't weld this on all the on the same plane as the other frame rail. How's this one? Yeah, that one's. Yeah, they didn't. They had these too far forward. That's not terrible though. Not a big deal.
Shit happens.
Yep. All right. All right. Here's where all our flanges are. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 there, 2 on top, 1 in the middle, there. And we'll go do that one. And let's see. That's another. Okay, yeah. So that flange stops about right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the edge of the flange is right on this side. So you know what? Actually, we'll just go here. Is that 1 or 2? Well, I think it's just 1. All right. So yeah, go ahead and drill this sucker out, Walt. All right. Should be a block of wood on the front of the car if you want to set it on to drill it out. All right, Walt just got done drilling that all out and deburred it, so that guy's ready to go ahead and put back on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fit this guy up in there. So that's the whole reason for opening up drilling all these spot welds out, so we can use this flange and slip it up in there instead of having to drill out all the original stuff. It's better just to leave that on there, because in this case there's nothing wrong with it, and there's a spot weld like every ½ inch, so no problem just laying this over that. Alright, I'll put that right there. I had to trim this a little bit, nothing major. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I need to trim that a little bit more over here. So we need to go, we'll probably cut it about there. Alright, got that trimmed a little bit more now. See how well it's fit up in there. Okay, forward. All right. All right. Oh. All right. Get some vice grips. Clamp the sucker in there. Go ahead and start sucking this guy in. Hold your position. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, that's good. Now once we're at this point, see, I want to re-drill these holes right here, so that way it welds all 3 panels together. This one, the roof rail or the roof support, and the inner wheelhouse behind it. So by drilling out these original holes right here in my new wheelhouse, it will weld all 3 of those together right there. Same thing there, same thing right there, and then here we're just gonna go ahead and put new welds. So we'll put one right there, there, here. Okay. Now let me go ahead and kind of hammer these back down. You know what? I need my body hammer for that, because I want to be able to mark these holes as well, That way it welds all three of those panels together. And then right here, we're going to go ahead and outline the rocker. That way I can drill my holes on the back side or the front. Actually, no, drill my holes on the front side of this. That way I can hit my flange. Alright, that's good. And then we're going to go ahead and clean up this whole area here. That's going to be bare metal. That way I can lay this over this and weld that to there. Now, see, we're going to go ahead and outline this. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to reuse these holes that I've drilled through. So we're going to get this. I'm not going to weld this wheelhouse to the body yet. I'm going to fit the quarter panel, or the quarter panel. Oh, it's a hybrid. It's got cords hanging out. I'm going to fit the skin on here and get it all situated, and make sure, because sometimes you have to shift and shimmy and just move these wheelhouses a little bit because, well, it's made in China. So even though they're great, you know, this is AMD, it's metal, it's great to use, but sometimes the stampings are not exactly OEM, and you got to shift and move and shimmy and hammer and dolly. So sometimes it's best to leave this guy unwelded, so when you get the quarter panel on here, if you maybe have to shift it just a quarter inch here or there, wherever. Of course, you can't shim around the whole lot, but at least you give yourself a little leeway. So then once everything's fitted, pull the quarter panel back off, weld this sucker on here, and when I weld it, I'll go ahead and drill dowel pin holes, so that, or drill screws or self-tappers into certain areas. That way, when I pull the quarter panel off, this will hold its original position, or it'll kind of like pin it, so that way it's going to go back on in that same spot. Oh yeah, so we're going to go ahead. We got the cross rail all centered up, it's in position, got it clamped on and bolted, and so I can go ahead and start welding this sucker on now. We got Walter drilling out the wheelhouse. So this is all ready for me now. So this side's all welded up. You should basically repeat the same thing to the other side. Happening. Well, another night. Last day of SEMA, spent a bunch of money. Decided to come home and work on this thing. Well, got that wheelhouse, got it all drilled out, got it fitted. So right now it's just going to be clamped in place. And when I test fit the quarter, I'll make sure that everything fits the way it's supposed to. And as long as everything fits like it's supposed to, this sucker will get welded on exactly where it sits. I just want to make sure it's going to fit like it's supposed to. Trunk pan's in. So what I do is I I get it to where the two outer edges on the inner wheelhouses is screwed in. Usually you get a pretty good gap right there, just enough to weld up where the two seams meet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we could have put a one-piece trunk pan in it, which I would have rather had in it. But the guy ordered a two-piece trunk pan. You know, whatever, it works. So let's go ahead and put the two-piece in there, which would have been much nicer if it was one-piece, but it's not. So anyway, weld that up. So I got that screwed in, and then I also got the seam screwed together. And then what I have done is, now that everything is fitted in the trunk, or well, now the trunk pan is fitted and everything's gapped where it's supposed to be. If you look at the inner wheelhouses, you know, they're all clamped to hold everything nice and tight on both sides. I take a Sharpie or a silver marker and I go to the inside, or just to the edge of all the frame rails. I basically map out the frame rails on the bottom of the trunk pan. I'll show you why in just a second. See, I mapped the entire trunk pan out on the frame rails. Great. Alright, so I got the frame rails all drawn out on the trunk pan. Now I can just start marking my holes. We'll go ahead and drill all suckers out so that way I can plug weld it right to the top of the frame rails. Pretty much gonna be a whole lot of drilling. It's gonna suck to be Walter. Happening. Another day. Me and Walt. What's up? So, Walter got the trunk pan all drilled out, and as you can see by mapping out the bottom of the trunk pan, all the holes lined up perfectly on the frame rails. All of them. So, and what I do is I screw all the high spots, I screw it down, so you'll have miscellaneous screw holes and open holes. Well, what I'll do the first pass is I'm going to weld up all the holes with no screws, obviously. And then I'll pull the screws up and weld all those in. Because I don't want to do I don't want any hammer marks, I don't want no dents, I don't want no nothing in the trunk pan. I just want everything to look like a factory spot weld. And if you take a screw and you screw it in, you know, it's going to create a little low spot. Yeah, you can kind of see it in the little lighting. I don't know if you can or not, but it creates just like a tiny little low spot, almost like a little inverted dent. But once I weld that, it's going to look just like a factory spot weld. So that's what I'm doing. I have no hammer marks, just screw it all down, make it sit flat, and then weld it all up. What's up, everybody? Ah, there I am. Damn it. Gas? Yep. Forgot to turn gas on. Now I have one shitty weld. Try this again. You don't need to watch me weld the whole thing. Y'all look pretty good. I got one little fucker up right there. That's because I forgot to turn the gas on. Dumbass. But, yep, so just keep going about the whole rest of it. Alright. Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, it's another night of me forgetting to record shit for you. But I didn't get too far, so I can go ahead and get caught up right here. What I've done is, well, I'll have to show you when I pull the quarter pin back off, but I had to do a bunch of patching to this wheelhouse here, which would have been way better if I'd have just bought another wheelhouse and put it on here. But I decided, oh, I'm just going to patch it. well, that patching turned into like half a day of making patches with my new bead roller, but it was nice to learn how to make it, but also it was a waste of time because I could have just cut off a wheelhouse and put one on and been done with it already. But did that, it's done, it's on there. So, and what I've done is I've got the quarter panel just kind of clamped on here, and you'll notice all these little screw holes. What I did is I laid the full skin over the quarter panel, and then I came in with a cutoff wheel and I just cut it all the way down about 3/4 of an inch away from the edge of the quarter. What that did is that gave me my perfect 1/16 of an inch gap that I need to weld it up. So, and it's a perfect straight cut line all the way down. You can see right here. So yeah, what I did is I just cut along the edge all the way around the skin into cutting through both layers of the original quarter and the skin, because this is what used to be laid over it. So that way it made my seam perfect all the way down around. So that's how I did the quarter skin. And this one's all just mocked up on there. I got the valence corner mocked up on there. What I need to do is get the other side done so that way I can just test fit the rear valence. And once that's all good, I'm going to drill a bunch of pinholes, or basically put a bunch of screws in, so that way it'll mark my locations where I can weld everything up. And then tear it all apart, drill a whole bunch of holes in like the bottom here, so I can drill all those holes so that way it lines up with the trunk extension. Drill all the holes in the quarter for the wheelhouse, and basically get it to where I can, so I got to weld all that up too. So this one here, I just laid the skin over the original quarter because this door jamb here wasn't too bad, so I just left that all original right there, and I'm just gonna weld it to the skin, or just basically butt joint right there. The other side, and this is why you screw everything together and don't have it perfect or permanently welded, is this is a new wheelhouse on this side over here. Well, previously you saw me put this wheelhouse in the original locations, using the a center, or a punch, or not a punch, but a center punch. So I used a punch to center the wheelhouse front and back, so I actually put it on here just like the original one was. But so it's on here, but if you look, the quarter is way too forward. I need the quarter panel to go back, so you can't even shut the door. And there's nothing. Really, you can't just shove the door forward because it's already into the it's not into the fender, but it fits the fender correctly. So since this wheelhouse is not permanently welded on here yet, what I can do is just pull some of my screws out, slide it backwards, and then I got to pull it back about, I'd say 3/16 to 1/4 inch on the bottom, and you can shift it a little bit up and down, or angling, but actually if you look at the body line, the body line's pretty close. So here's the body line right at that where you can see that the paint chipped off, and the body line's right here, so actually they're pretty dead on right there. So I don't really need to do any shifting, but this definitely needs to go backwards about 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch. So all I got to do is just pull the skin back off, pull my screws out, slide it backwards 1/4 inch, screw it back in, throw the quarter skin back on, make sure that's all good. Then, as you can see right here, actually, yeah, right here, this is the skin laid over the quarter panel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a couple holes, put some screws in it right at the top, so that way the quarter panel and the skin don't shift on each other. And I'm just going to run the cutoff wheel all the way down, so that way I get my perfect seam line. Same thing right here. And see, I cut right on the edge of this quarter panel, and you can see there's actually quite a bit hanging off right here. This quarter panel skin, or this quarter panel, actually the replacement, was about, I would say a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch shorter than the original. So it's kind of because I know the quarter panel needs to go back a little bit, but this actually is slightly shorter than the original one. Not by a lot, but enough to notice. So yeah, once I get that wheelhouse loosened, pulled back, Then I'll put the quarter skin back up here, drill my holes, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut my seam all the way down. And then I'm going to get my clamps. These are butt joint clamps. So I'll go ahead and get I need to go get some more actually. I've kind of broken these and worn them out, so I need to go get some more. I'm going to go to Harbor Freight right now and go get some more of these guys so I can get it on both sides. Once that's on there, then I'll get my other valence corner. Get that on there, slip the valence up here, and basically just drill everything, test fit it. Once everything fits great, tear it apart, drill some holes, and then start welding up. But yeah, the main thing you want to do when putting these cars together is test fit, especially with reproduction panels. So basically screw the whole car together, test fit, shimmy, move, you know, cut, splice, whatever you got to do to make everything fit good, and then weld it up after you do all that. Because if you weld everything as you go, you have no wiggle room. But we'll see how far I get on this tonight. Alright, see, with shoving that outer wheelhouse back that 1/4 inch, look at my door gap now. Now it's tits. So we can go ahead and start clamping this sucker down, and actually need to get adjust the hinge a little bit, because the hinge needs to go, the door needs to go up. And see, where's our body line? See, the quarter panel looks like it needs to go up about 1/8 inch maybe. So, but our gap is good here. So then all we got to do from this point is just start going upwards. Which now that the quarter panel might be able to just, because it's all loose, so I might just be able to, yeah. Oh, I can Hercules this thing up a little bit. So yeah, we'll be good right there. But yeah, just by not welding that wheelhouse in before I got test fitted the quarter panel, you were able to shim and move and up and down, left and right, whatever you need to do to get the quarter panel or the quarter skin to fit correctly. If you went ahead and just welded that thing how the factory was, I would have been screwed right here. So now I'm good. Well, now I can go ahead and start screwing this thing to the car and then test fitting the valence corner. Yep, here we go. Well, it's early morning now. Another day. Well, after test fitting the quarter panel and test fitting the trunk extension, got everything fitted. Spent a while yesterday fitting the rear valence. So I actually had to have both quarter panels on, which, yeah, I didn't record any of that crap because I just wanted to get it done. And the, so got both quarters set. They're pre-drilled. So that way when I actually go to weld this, I just got to drill out these couple markings there. So when I go to weld that on and then set the other one on, weld it up, I know my rear valence is just going to sit perfectly over it with perfect gap. So that was the whole reason for mocking everything up, so I can just go ahead and weld the quarters, weld the valence corners, and yeah, I can move on with just putting this quarter back up here, mocking everything up, and then just put the new bottle on here, because last night I had to stop because if you notice, there's like maybe 8 pounds left in this thing. There's nothing left in it. So I'm going to swap the bottles, get to welding on this junk, and hopefully I can have the quarters welded. Hopefully I can have this whole bitch welded up today. That would be awesome, because then I can put it on the ground and roll this sucker out. Yeah, here we go. And everybody. Alright, back on this car. As you can see, I've got the clamps on there, and I've already done a little bit of tacking, so I've already kind of jumped the gun on you a little bit. I've also fit the quarter panel to the door, which basically, it actually didn't fit too bad. The only thing I had to do was just put a little slice there and then pop it out a little bit so that way it matched the arch of the door. It was just a little bit flat right here. If I'd have known it ahead of time, I'd have just thrown it on the shrinker, but it wasn't too bad just to cut a little slice there. So I just need to pull the screws out of here, weld those holes up. That's already been welded. I already fixed all that. Fixed the door jamb. That was all cracked up in there. As you can see what I'm doing here, I got a little screwdriver in my hand, as you can see. Now I'm trying to weld this to where it's, so I can run my finger right across that. It's nice. It's on the same plane. There's no step between the two. I want them to be flush, so that when I weld it and grind it down, it'll look like there was nothing ever there. So that's what I've been doing. I'll tack, move over, you know, and I'll just have to shimmy a little bit with a screwdriver to see if I can find a spot that's a little bit. That's not. No. Okay, right here. This is just a little bit high than that. So basically, I stick this in here and just correct it just a little bit. There you go. Now that's flush. That's good. Oh, that right there is kind of high. So I need to pop the lower out. And it's just very slight. I mean, we're talking like a couple, like thousandths of an inch. So that's good. You'd be surprised what your finger can feel a difference in. So pop that one out. A little bit more. Alright, that's good. Okay, this one here needs to go the other way. Pop that guy out. That's good. This one here, you pop the lower out just a tad. See, when you're welding, shit's gonna move around and warp a little bit, so you kind of have to stay on top of it. Alright, that's good. Good. Alright, that's a little bit low. That's pretty good now. If anything, suck it back in. It's not too much. Alright, that's good. It's got a step to it. Alright, now that's good. Let's see. Pop this one out. Good. Alright. So that's all feel pretty good now. See, I don't know if you can see this, but take this off and so you can look down the line, you can see that they're pretty flush. That's what you want. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish tacking this all up because you won't be able to see me tack it because I can't wear that helmet on. Well, this side's all welded up. Look how nice this is. When you do it in spots and you take your time, watch my fingers. There's so little warpage. You'll see any slight movement in the finger. Ah, that's super nice. Alright, working on the other side right now. So this one here is a little bit more, well, a lot more welding. Because I have to weld this whole thing down the side. There was nothing wrong with the door jamb. And the door jamb, you know, has the original spot welds in it. And the, well, it's shaped to the door correctly. The arch is good. So yeah, I got it up here. I put it up here with clamps first. Actually, there's clamps on top, there's clamps on bottom, there's clamps in the wheel well, clamps in the front. So, anyways, I get it up here, and basically I'll start tacking around the clamp first, because that's where it's going to be most flush. And then in the middle I have to start tweaking, moving, shimmying. Basically, see, all these are pretty good. I've already done all these. Let me try and find a spot that's not sitting perfectly. Alright, right here. See right there, there's a little, it's so slight you probably can't even see it, but this part here is just a little recess from that. So basically I just get in here, pop it out, just that little bit. There we go. Now it's flush. I've been doing that the whole way down after I tack. So all these are pretty good. That's actually, this one here can go in just a hair. There you go. That way when I grind this hole, all the welds down, all you're going to see is just perfectly flush metal. You won't see steps in it. And then what I'll do, actually, let me go over here and show you. So if you look here, actually we'll go on the inside. Alright, you'll see air, or you'll see light shining through some of the welds. I did that on purpose because say like that, say like this little gap right here, that little hole. If I try and weld that, it won't actually weld in between the two pieces of metal. It's just going to weld on top of it, and that's not what I want. So what I'll do is I'll grind this all down, and all those little spots that I missed, then I'll re-weld those and grind them down again. That way it actually penetrates in between the two. Because like I said, if I try and weld that, it's just going to weld on top of it, not in between it. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I want to get this sucker done. Actually, I just got back from Laughlin yesterday. I had to go get the title fixed on my green car. Got it fixed. Cost me $4. That car got 18 miles a gallon. 18.2 actually, going from here to Laughlin. But then when I got there, the alternator locked up, so I had to replace the alternator while I was in Laughlin. Had to buy some tools and replace it. But it's fixed, made it home. Now I'm working on this junk. Alright, well, let's get back to it. Fix real quick. If you look at this piece here, this is pretty flat. There's not a whole lot of arch to it. When there's arch to the valence corner. So when you set it up here, it doesn't quite line up. It sticks out at the bottom, and in the middle it sucks in. Same thing on the other side. So I'm going to pull this off and stick this on the shrinker stretcher and try and get a little arch to it. The shrinker stretcher didn't work out that great because I couldn't get the damn thing in there. But doing it this way, darn it, there we go. Using the dolly. I'm able to get some arch in it. And that looks pretty good right there. Sweet. That all lines up and fits great. So you see, this gets seam sealed. So you'll see the body lines, but you won't be able to see all the way through it. But yeah, that fits great on both sides. So I can just go ahead and weld this sucker up now. Ah, it's gonna be nice. All right, well, time to weld. Well, that's the end of that. No more weld needed on this old girl right here. All done, all welded up. I'm pretty sure I don't have to use a welder anymore, but I think it's all welded up, and it all came out pretty good. So everything lines up good. The last one I had to do, I had to actually cut and splice the corner a little bit, but this one actually didn't come out too bad. I was able to try something different with the inside and hammer or push the cross rail back a little bit and then cut some of it out so that way everything would lay in there nice and perfect. But yeah, that came out pretty good. Same thing on both sides. Really the only thing left to do is just to open this up right there, the slots, because the repop didn't exactly line up perfectly with the original. Just gotta grind a few tiny little welds down on that wheel well. You see it's all discolored here. This is because there was a big old hump there. And there was a hump in the rear window filler panel that I couldn't get rid of. Push down here, it'd pop up there. Push down there, it'd pop up here. So, and then the biggest hump was right here. But by heating this up and heat and shrinking with the torch and water and with a wet rag, I was able to shrink all the metal together to actually suck metal over this way, suck metal over that way, and then this way, and it tightened that all up and got rid of that hump there. Had to do a little patch there. Had to replace the channel on the induction panel. Should have just replaced the whole freaking induction panel, but dumbass didn't. Me being a dumbass. This all came out pretty good. If you can see, ooh, looks good. Door jamb, that's all good. Yeah, old girl came out pretty good. But, oh yeah, I finished welding the gas tank straps. You can actually see the heat spots through the trunk pan, or the penetration anyway. But yeah, so now this thing is ready for paint and body, but I'm not doing the paint and body on this one. Someone else is. The guy that actually bought this car from me, he's doing all the paint and body, or he has the guy that's going to do it. I just contracted to do all the metal work. So now that that's all done, which, let's see, I guess I can go ahead and tell you how much this cost. So both quarter skins, the rear cross rail, the valence, both valence corners, that quarter panel, the driver wheel well, patching that, fixing this. What else I have to do? There was a little bit of damage in this door jamb. Straighten that all out. All of that together ended up being about $3,500. Which, you know, not too bad. I mean, if this was a body shop and not a tent, maybe it would have cost a lot more. But it's just a freaking tent in the backyard. So, yep, it all came out pretty good. So, yep, grind some welds down, and then they just need to seam seal it and paint the sucker after doing a bunch of body work, because it's going to need it here and there, a few spots. Overall, though, not a bad car. But yeah, 69 copper tan interior, big block 2-barrel. Should be going back on the streets here pretty soon. Another one saved. So, well, I guess that's the end for this car for me anyways. This can go bye-bye. So, I'll holler at you guys later. I'm bringing another one in. See ya.